Good morning, everybody, and how is your Metabolism Monday going? How was your weekend? Hello, Kiki. Diva made it in. There's my girl, Michelle. Fun to ski. Good morning, my friend. Has anyone seen Elaine around? Elaine Cordello? I haven't seen her in a while. I'm worried about her. I'll send her an email. TCB is getting a lot of rain. Who's in the path of this hurricane? Because it looks scary to me. I don't think I'd want that coming my way. Hey, Pat K's in the house. Or what do we say? WWPD. What would Pat do? Lena said she lost power at 8 a.m. Dang. Do you have a generator, Lena? Kimberly said, so hot and humid, you better believe it. Dang right it is. Any of my European friends going to the Olympics? Hello, Deb K. Glad you're here. No generator. You know what? Certain areas like Oklahoma, when we get tornadoes and ice storms, they need to have a place where you can go rent them for a few days and plug them in and take them back. Not everyone's got that kind of money laying around to go buy one. Lena said, my house is on stilts. Damn, girl. Damn. I can't believe it. I also could not believe the sentencing that we heard on Friday. Even my husband took that real rough. I don't see why, in the case of little Corey Michelo, we saw the video of him on the treadmill. We heard the testimonies of many doctors as to what happened to him, what his cause of death was. And, well, I don't see why that judge couldn't give him the maximum, which would have been 30 and 10. So there's 40 years. 40 years. He'd be, pushing 70 before he got out. But he didn't go that route. So I did, when I made the community tab post, I said, he'll probably be out in 10. And of course, people were arguing with me. Look, I don't think for a minute old boy isn't going to go before the parole board. I don't. That judge seemed to be a bit biased, and he was sitting there acting like he was running a college class, like he was explaining the law to us. And I was like, we don't need all that. He kept talking about the appellate court, so on and so forth. Made no sense to me. Well, let's take a second and tell everybody happy Monday. Please welcome your neighbor. So glad you guys are all here. Pile in. I don't think I posted the show, so it might just be us, but that is just fine. Quality, not quantity, if you know what I mean. So what do you all make out of this from Dawn? This is on the Find Summer Wells Facebook page that does everything but does not find Summer Wells. It was just so odd the day before Summer disappeared that DCS came with a woman I'd never seen before. Well, Dawn, do you hang around the DCS office? Is this to tell us that DCS or CPS has been there many times before and you just didn't recognize this one? That's what it sounds like to me. With a woman I'd never seen before. She kept looking at the upper eaves of the outside of the house, the same spots cameras might be. When it was happening, I remember taking a mental note of it. Now, that's an oxymoron, okay? That is a oxymoron for Don to say he took a mental note. Anyhow, when it was happening, Don remembers taking a mental note of it. I can't get that out of my mind. Signed, Don Wells. Now, hold on. How many times have they actually been there that you made a mental note that you've never seen that woman before? I would assume if this was a one and done on June 14th, 2021, he wouldn't recognize the woman because they were there about some BB gun thing, right? That's what they were there to talk about. Wanted to address the BB gun thing. Then, of course, on the 15th, Summer disappears. Now, I got quite a bit of flack. Nothing new in the month of July, if you know what I mean. When I said, and then the 16th, they were supposed to visit with Summer again. Many people said that is not true, that is not true, that is not true. Well, then who is lying? Is Clyda lying? And Dawn texted that to her? The text is floating around in many Facebook groups. Is one of Candace's ex-friends lying when Candace told her they were supposed to, I'll just say, interview Summer on Wednesday? I had a conversation with a woman in the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group, I'd say like a week ago. And I said, listen, you understand that 99% of these rumors come from Dawn and Camp. They do. And she said, yes, and I've told them for 3 years to stay off of YouTube. Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, and the damage has been done. Let's look at some of these comments and see what you all had to say about that ridiculous post. Then we're going to have a conversation. Why do certain people claim that Dawn is this salt of the earth, amazing dad? Okay, 10 days ago, I said the question is, why was CPS there in the first place on 6/14? Why did they request a physical on Summer? Summer Wells disappeared on 6/15. Now, there was supposed to be a follow-up on the 16th, according to a couple of different people. I'll just say a couple. No need to drag them. That had conversations with Dawn or both Candace. They can't all be making it up, but people say this isn't true, this isn't true. How do you know it isn't true? These records are not problems, are not public. Sorry, I was reading problem. Oh, hold on. Someone just came in. Our friend Angie Baby is here. Guess what today is? Today is Angie Baby's birthday. You all sing it loud, sing it proud. Happy birthday, my dear friend, and so glad you're here to spend it with us. Absolutely honored, are we not? The state of Tennessee did not find Dawn or Candace. Grandis didn't give a shit because she didn't try to do anything to get custody of her grandsons. Nothing. She already had a trip scheduled, remember? And she hightailed it out of town. 3 kids in Tennessee. If Candace is telling the truth, 1 in Arkansas, and it's confirmed, 2 in Wisconsin. Broken Golf Dolls said, where are my posts going? I see you, girl. I see your posts. Christine PQ said, the problem I have with this statement is that he had never seen that DCS woman. That's what I said. Who the hell is familiar with all the staff at their local DCS? Yeah, that was my first question. A woman I'd never seen before. Well, if it's their first time there, as you claim, you wouldn't recognize the person. I would hope you wouldn't. Risman said, yeah, DCS kidnapped her. What an idiot. Lena Jams, who is in chat right now, he says, with a woman I'd never seen before. Well, I can say this. I have no idea what any of the CPS workers in my area look like. Seem like the Wells are very familiar with theirs. I would think. Our friend Thomas, who we miss, we haven't seen him in a few days, said, this has been my thinking all along. On the 14th, DCS came and due to Summer's frail condition, requested an exam by a pediatric doctor. Dawn and Candace both know what they have put their little girl through. Dawn admitted it, saying there was a tape he sold for $5,000 to his boss with CP of Summer on it. Dawn said that. Okay? No one made that up. Dawn said it. Dawn said she was in a motel room. Dawn said she was in a basement. Dawn said she was fish food. You name it. But some of these people will just chalk it up and say, oh, that's just that silly Dawn. That's just that silly Dawn. You know, he just had too much to drink or something. Thomas says you need to rot in hell for that. But before that, somebody needs to tie. Oh, okay, I can't put all that on there. Anyway, the lies have come from them. Okay, then Lisa K. Ruitz comes in and says, Thomas, no one requested an exam and Don did not sell his boss any tape. You are confused. Don said it, and no one can confirm if CPS requested an exam. However, it was said by the parents that there was to be, we've heard two different stories, an interview done with just Summer on the 16th. Then it was said an exam. Zoots and Boots says back to Lisa, they aren't evidence facts, nor should misinformation be running rampant, but Dawn isn't clean from talking about really odd things. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Well, dadgum, I missed it. Jean Warren, look at this. We have 2 birthdays. Y'all get ready. We got another birthday in here. August babies represent. Happy birthday, Jean. Woo! You ladies, how are you ladies going to celebrate today? Or tonight? Or did you celebrate over the weekend? Look at that. Lana's got a birthday coming up. All right, if you look at the screen, Find Summer Wells, which does everything but find Summer Wells. Good old Tim. Kingsport residents gather to draw attention to human trafficking. Hashtag Find Summer Wells. Hashtag human trafficking. Hashtag missing children. Okay, Tim, I'll play along. But we already know that, as this video has no sound. Well, then what am I going to do with it? We already know, Tim, that the FBI card unit says no abduction. That would also fall under trafficking. But what to do? What to do? So let's look at a few things and try to figure out as friends why people go out of their way to say Don is this great father. Okay. Hello, Mama She. What's up, girlfriend? This is from when Molly Golightly had her channel up. I think she has another one now. I don't know the name of it, so forgive me. This is when Dawn went crazy. I mean, ass shit crazy on Camp Cant. Bear with me. We'll have to watch it twice, probably.
Live, you dumbass. No, sir. It is.
Dawn and Candace are the bottom square, okay?
It's fucking live, you dumbass. No, sir. It is. No, it isn't. Can't stop. Okay, whatever. Play your little game, Donnie. All right, I'm gonna have to go. She don't think we're live and shit, okay?
She don't think we're live and shit. I'm gonna have to go. She don't think we're live and shit.
She's fucking going off and acting like an alcoholic. I have to get off here.
She's acting like an alcoholic. I gotta get off of here. She's acting like an alcoholic. Oh my goodness.
No.
That's fine. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Don, I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye,
Okay.
Candace.
Let's go through this later.
That is fucking live, you dumb bitch.
What a prince. What a prince. How do you defend this? How do you defend this? I love live and shit. By the way, everyone, we're live and shit right now. Hashtag that. Live and shit, if anybody gets confused. We are live and shit right now.
You are stupid, man.
I was just scratching my back. That's all I asked.
Fucking live and fucking bitch.
Oh, they just seen that. You're a dumbass. They just seen you punch me in my throat.
Whatever, man.
You're a dumbass.
Somebody punches me, I'm not going to call him a dumbass. I'd be live and shit calling 911. Live and shit. 911.
You're a real dumbass. You're a real dumb fucking ass.
Woo! We even got an F-bomb.
They just seen me throw me in the punch.
Did what to her parts? Hold on, we got to go back. This is a lot to absorb, and I know we've heard it before, but we got to absorb this. This is what goes on behind the scenes, my friends. So when people say there was no reason for the boys to be taken, please just watch this clip.
It's fucking live, you dumbass.
No, sir.
It is.
No, it isn't.
Can't stop.
Okay, whatever. Play your little game, Donnie.
All right, I'm gonna have to go. She don't think we're live and shit, okay? And she's fucking going.
All right, we haven't done this in a while, and we're going to have to. Secret word. What is today's secret word? What will it be?
What's today's secret word?
Ooh, interesting question. Let's go and ask Cocky.
Live and shit. Live and shit. Or should it be, you're a dumbass? I like live and shit.
Going off and acting like an alcoholic. I have to get off here now.
That's fine.
I
Thank you
appreciate
so
y'all.
much for talking to us.
Don, I'll
All right,
talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye,
Okay.
Candace.
Let's go through
Thank you.
this later.
That is fucking live, you dumb bitch. You are.
Have y'all ever been on the phone with somebody before and they say they're hanging up, but they don't hang up, yet you can hear what's going on in the background? My mother-in-law is famous for it. And they don't even realize that you're still on the phone and they're talking shit about you and you're sitting there going, okay, I'm going to sit here and listen to this. Then they realize they were on the phone. It just goes beep. He doesn't even realize he's still live and shit.
You're stupid, man.
I was just scratching my back. That's all I asked.
Fucking live and fucking bitch.
No, they just seen that. You're a dumbass. They just seen you punch me in my throat.
Whatever.
You're a dumbass.
They just seen you punch me in my throat. He goes, whatever.
You're a real dumbass. You're a real dumb fucking ass. They just seen me throw me in the punch. You're
Stab me in the parts. Stab me. Did she just say stab me in the parts? Let's see if we can CC this.
Oh, they just seen that. You're a dumbass. They just seen you punch me in my throat.
Whatever.
You're a dumbass. You're a real dumbass. You're a real dumb fucking ass. They just seen me throw me in the punch.
You're a real dumbass. This thing will throw me in the parts. Okay. Okay.
You're a dumbass.
I don't know what to even say about that. What parts? What parts? All right. So here's an example of what goes on at Wells Manor behind the scenes. Let's go back to this right here, where Dawn said it was just so odd the day before Summer disappeared that DCS came with a woman I'd never seen before. I would hope you wouldn't. I would hope that would be a perfect stranger to you. Not, come on in, you old stranger. You haven't wrote us up for any violations in the last few years. Where you been? Come on in, you old stranger. No. She kept looking at the upper eaves of the outside of the house, probably wondering how that rat trap stays together. Okay? I'm no structural engineer, and I have wondered for years how it's livable. Okay? The same spots cameras might be. How about, would you guys notice if hidden cameras were hidden around your house? Would you? Would you? I think I would notice. Or are these the areas that Benny put cameras up at? According to many, I wasn't there. When it was happening, I remember taking a mental note of it. I can't get that out of my mind. Well, did you get this out of your mind, Dawn? This is from JLR. This is when he was speaking to Molly. Jim 420, what's up, girlfriend? I've missed you. And I saw Anna's in here. Anna, missed you too. These people drive me insane. I don't know. Let's take a poll. An unsophisticated poll. Besides the fact of all the wrong, and I mean all the wrong, Dawn, Candace, and Grandis do. It's been played before our eyes for 3 years. That is not my fault. That is not YouTube's fault. That is not CPS's fault. That is not anyone's fault. Why do people defend this behavior? Trust me, we have all had our days, our not so proud days, where you're like, damn, if life was a dry erase board, that would have never happened. But their behavior continues and continues and continues. And the live and shit escalates. Now, I'll say, summer of 2024, they've been pretty chill. They have been. Now, there is an issue with a dog. She did a live. A dog that is chained to a tree, which to me is inhumane. Her whole reasoning for this poor dog to be chained to the tree, mind you, she took that live down, is so that the dog wouldn't get pregnant. Now, listen, if a male dog is trying to get busy with a female dog, he's got better odds if she's chained up and can't get away. Got to be kidding me. Got to be kidding me. Chaining up the dog. Get your dog fixed. The Humane Society has been to their house more over dogs than the police have been there over summer. Sad facts.
Just get fired from that particular job or like the
From that
company?
builder, yes.
Oh, no.
From that builder. They're the biggest builder that we have in the area.
Whoa. Wait, you're telling me Tucker? Tucker is not working with you anymore?
From Orth.
Oh, it's from Orth.
Yeah.
Are you at Tucker? Are you still with Tucker?
No, I'm with Tucker still.
Oh.
They have other builders, but from Orth Construction, which is one of our biggest builders.
See, his ass didn't get fired from that job. Not that anybody need to be there bothering Don and Candace. Okay, I'm not down with that. I'm just not. A creator wants to reach out to victims' family members, have at it. They want them to come on the show, have at it. You don't need to bother anyone's work. You just don't need to. It doesn't work that way. I know there's a situation going on right now in Hendersonville. 3 protective orders have been put against Bullhorn Betty. I don't know the ins and outs of it. Some people say it's a just in case order. If judges just put those out just in case, would we not have a lot of people alive right now? I think about when Rebecca Michelo was on the channel on Thursday. When Christopher Greger, 3 years ago, he had only been charged with child endangerment. And I say only because later he was charged with murder. He got out on bond for the endangerment. Rebecca, even with all of these threats that have been made to her and to Bree, went to get the same protective order that has been given in Tennessee. Denied. So I don't know what to make out of all that. Didn't mean to change the subject. But what I'm saying is, he's saying he got fired. Nobody should have been at his work. And I'll die on that hill. Okay? Nobody needed to be there. Not because I give a shit about Dawn. Not because I give a shit about Candace. But what about the other employees? What about people that are waiting on their houses to be completed? What about people that have paid good money for that spectacular job Dawn is doing? That shit's not cheap.
Other builders, but from Orth Construction, which is one of our biggest builders, but they don't want me on their jobs no more.
That wasn't my intention. I honestly, let me ask you a question. Would you have talked to me if it was just me and Candace wasn't there?
Well, I don't know, man. Everybody's been freaking out. You just gotta understand. I mean, I know you understand. I mean, let's just try to work this out.
I'm a dumb bitch.
Move forward and make this about summer, okay?
That's all I've been doing.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else but that little girl.
Okay, I appreciate that. I really do, because that's all I can think about.
Where can I go? What can I do for you? Because you told us to go search. I can't remember because 2 of them left. I can't text them.
The only thing that I can say on that.
The park with the waterfall.
This is what I know. Somebody come up here and took our beautiful daughter.
Yeah.
But we don't know who. We don't know how. I mean, we know how. They had to grab her and took her down, put her in a car, drove her out of here.
Okay, I understand this is the theory. I got it. Somebody had to have come up and grabbed her and brought her down. My question is a common sense question. How did Candace or Grandis not notice somebody coming up on that hill? Don't believe for a minute that the dogs were gone that day. Those dogs were going crazy when Chris McDonough showed up, and other people. We saw Benny slip in dog shit. Those dogs were all over. Supposedly Jody Sue, who in my opinion was on high alert that day because of the tree trimmers. Did she not notice a strange car parked at the bottom of that dog hill or dog trail, whatever they want to call it? How would you not notice? Let's just say Candace truly was outside planting flowers with her mom. That means she's outside. She wouldn't hear anyone rustling around in the trees, coming up the dog trail, walking right in front of that disgusting camper, over to the door to go in, no one in, no one out, to go in, grab Summer. Wouldn't Summer have screamed? Stranger danger? Who are you? Common sense. It doesn't make sense. And again, reminder, this is live and shit. Well, not Molly talking to Dawn, but we're live and shit.
I know. Somebody come up here and took our beautiful daughter.
Yeah.
But we don't know who. We don't know how. I mean, we know how. They had to grab her and took her down, put her in a car, drove her out of here. But that's all we know. I mean, that's all we know.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know if I can handle this anymore.
Know for a fact.
I don't know if I can handle this anymore. It's driving me nuts.
I can't. You know what? You're just like me. You're stuck in that. You don't have a choice. Like me, I don't have a choice. I'm in it, and I don't have a choice. I pray for my daughter. I've been sick of that dog for 4 or 5 months.
How are you sick? What's wrong with you? Did you go to the doctor? Did you go to the doctor? What's going on with you?
Oh no, I mean just sick over my daughter.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant like medically.
I'm a girl that I love with all my heart. Someone stole.
Man. Well.
Candace loves her with all her heart. Trust me.
I mean, is there ever times that you wonder?
She's just been scared of y'all, and you haven't been able to talk to her. But trust me, if you got to know her, you would come to believe what I believe.
Yeah, she's not.
Now, this is a very freaky statement to me. For one, Don does not sound inebriated. He does not sound intoxicated. So people can just quit with that excuse, okay? People can just quit with that. You would come to believe what I believe. Okay.
Was stolen.
Man. Well.
Candace loves her with all her heart. Trust me.
I mean, is there ever times that you wonder?
Because she's just been scared of y'all, and you haven't been able to talk to her. But trust me, if you got to know her, you would come to believe what I believe.
Yeah, she's not really liking me a lot, and
it's just because of all the shit that all these other YouTubers. You gotta think about Cher.
Yeah, she's gross.
I don't know.
No, she's trying to get that reward money. That girl, the girl from Canada.
All of us turned on her.
Well.
Maybe he said it wrong. Sold. She didn't just go poof. She didn't just go poof. Don clearly said to Brian Enton, Candace might have made the wrong friends. He said to Brian Enton, we just must not have been paying attention. Then if you were home, Don, that would leave 3 adults and 3 big boys, okay? Boys that have eyes, ears, know what's going on around them. So let's say 6 people are home. Well, 7 with Summer, okay, but 6 that have some idea around them as to what's going on. And no one noticed Summer being kidnapped. The FBI card unit did a full investigation to where they said no abduction. None. TBI also said they can't rule out foul play. Yeah, let's just take a poll. I meant to do one earlier and I started talking about something else. Just put in here, and it's opinion only. This is not slandering anyone. This is not doxing. What do you think happened to Summer? I know we've had this conversation many times, but let's have it again. This is one of TBI's press conferences. It's a briefing. You're going to see there's no Dawn, there's no Candace, there's no Grandis. They couldn't be bothered that day. But it is very interesting where they were going already.
Good afternoon. I'm Leslie Earhart with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. We had hoped to have good news to share with you by now, but unfortunately, we do not. The search for 5-year-old Summer Wells remains ongoing. Today, teams continue to search the area around Ben Hill Road, and officers and agents continue to follow up on any leads that come in. Many have asked how they can assist with the search. At this time, we are not asking for volunteers to assist. What we are asking is for residents to continue to share photos of Summer and information from credible sources. We know you have a lot of questions about the search area and the process. For that reason.
Okay, let's talk about credible sources. Anna D said she never made it. She never made it home, never made it in the house. I would lean that way. I totally would, especially now. Candace still can't answer to what Dawn leaked one day. Some people call it a Freudian slip. Some people say, oh, that was just Dawn drunk. Donnie just had too much to drink. That Donnie. He said that the TBI said that they really wanted Dawn to work with Candace on her timeline because they know Candace left 2 more times that day. What would Candace have to leave 2 more times that day? Some people theorize she left once to hide Summer and then later to pretend like she was looking for Summer. I don't know. Pruitt said they still think she's somewhere around there. Well, it's been 3 years. 3 years. Drones, helicopters, a very specialized airplane they had to bring in from the Air Force, multiple teams of dogs, a grid search, you name it. Where the hell could she be? Why are her parents not cooperating with law enforcement? I'd have Pruitt dancing. I'd have him dancing like a piece of bacon frying in butter. I wouldn't leave him alone. Every day he would hear from me. If he didn't return my call right away, I'd be right there sitting in the waiting room saying, here to talk to Pruitt. Find out what's going on with my daughter. Dawn said, 3-year anniversary. 3-year anniversary. We haven't talked to them in over a year. And we still have people saying that this CPS thing on the 14th and possibly the 16th, because I don't believe all these people are lying about what Dawn and Candace said to them. I don't. But they say this CPS thing is not a big deal. The 14th is an extremely important day in the timeline of the disappearance of Summer Wells. It's the day Dawn fired Dudley. He said it's because he was on meth. Look, Dawn and Candace are not going to get offended by anybody around them that participate in bad habits. Maybe if they don't share, but they're not going to get upset about that. No. And then he made sure to take $300 to Dudley in person. No Cash App, no Walmart to Walmart. No, buddy, you're going to come pick it up here. Because he knew he had already told the police that Dudley kidnapped her.
Sheriff Lawson has arranged for Captain Tim Coop to elaborate on those efforts.
Thank you, Okie Bree, and I even have this in my notes. And don't forget, Pruitt said the CPS case bleeds over into the investigation. So for all these people that say the CPS thing has nothing to do with anything, according to Pruitt, it has a lot to do with it. The CPS case bleeds over into this. Thank you for the reminder, Okie Bree.
He's with the Churchill Rescue Squad and is serving as the incident commander of ground search operations. Tim?
Thank you, Leslie. As Lowe's elaborated, I wish we could have better news than we do now. From notification of Miss Summer going missing, we have implemented several methods of search and rescue. With most of these that we continue to do, we've utilized ground crews of 80 to 100 people of trained professionals, aerial aviation search, both visual and FLIR, medical THB and TBI assisting us with fixed wing, multiple drones, and 4 different canine units. The day that she went missing, we searched from the time of notification until dark. We searched all day yesterday, resumed this morning, continue on throughout the rest of our operational period, utilizing multiple ground crews, drones, fixed wing, and also helicopter with K9s on standby. Some of the issues we're encountering with this search is the steep and dangerous terrain. With this steep and dangerous terrain, we're also experiencing, as you see behind us, very dense canopy coverage, including very dense ground cover, causing search efforts to become very difficult, taking extra time to cover these areas adequately, exhausting teams a lot quicker, in turn causing longer for these grounds to be covered, allowing those teams for recovery and rehab. We have currently covered at this time at 1 mile from the residence last seen by ground and dog. Hopefully by the end of the day, we will have covered 2 ground miles, assisting with THP, expanding theirs to a minimum of 4 miles aerial aviation searching. As she stated, residents in this area, everybody continues to ask, well, if she wandered off, why did somebody not see her? This part of the community, the residents are very spread out. Some being from one hilltop to the other hilltop, or at the start of a road, and you may go a mile back before you ever get to another residence. So making that very...
And this I understand. And I'm glad he brought that up. Because Miss Know-It-All Jody Sue has a lot of information. But here he is explaining it would be highly unlikely for anyone to see her wander off. Okay? But it would be highly likely for Don, Candace, Grandis, and the boys to see someone come up the dog trail and kidnap her. Now, I don't buy the wandering off theory because she would have been found. It's been 3 years. They did a military-style grid search. And in the last 3 years, other children have, quote unquote, wandered off. And within the scope of a day have been found. So it sounds a little boring. It sounds a little repetitive, but it's very important what Tim is saying. Really important.
Difficult for residents just to be able to be at home outside working or something and notice her leaving that area. As we continue, we will continually assist Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, TBI, and FBI with this search as long as they deem necessary. And as Leslie stated, at this time, we are not asking for any public and or volunteers to assist in the search. A lot of people wonder why. Due to the extreme terrain and the nature of this, trying to locate her, trained professionals is what we need at this time to make sure that these residents don't become endangered and turn around and expand this issue with having to search for somebody else. Thank you.
As we've stated before, the circumstances surrounding Summer's disappearance remain unclear. So if we do develop information...
Remain unclear. So they're not buying abduction. They're not buying wandered off. Remains unclear. It's, you know why it's unclear? Because they can't get clear, some say crystal clear, information from the three amigos, Dawn, Candace, and Grandis. I think their level of cooperation on June 15th was next to nothing.
That she was taken, and we developed a suspect and a vehicle description. Of course, we will share that with the public immediately. At this time, that's just not the case. So we'll take a couple of questions, and I'll offer Sheriff Lawson an opportunity to say anything if he wants to.
What time was she last seen, and who reported her missing in the family?
Sheriff.
Her parents reported her missing right around 6:30 p.m.
But when was she, did they say when she was last seen? I know that she was reported missing around that time, but was she last seen earlier in the afternoon or in the day even?
That time is varied because they were searching for their child themselves.
Okay, he said that time is varied because they were searching for their child theirself. How can the time be varied? We've been looking for her since 3:30. That would not be varied. I would love to know what was said on that 911 call. We've heard the dispatch part of it, but I would love to know what Dawn said, what Candace said. My understanding is they both talked to 911. He says that time is varied because they were searching themselves. You would have some idea of what time you started searching or when the last time was you saw her. Candace's own words, not mine. She walked in the house. She asked the boys, "Where's Summer?" She went downstairs to play. She went down there and there's no Summer. She went under blankets, under the mattress, all of that stuff. She walked out the door. She looked down to the right because Summer would sit there and play by herself. She started yelling, "Summer, Summer, Summer." Her timeline is 2 minutes to 10 minutes. But Lawson's sitting there, and he's a big old POS. Don't even get me wrong on him. They're unclear about how long she's been missing. That time varies. Why does the time vary? The time varies because law enforcement was not told the truth. It's also interesting to me that a month later, the boys were removed and never returned. And that's with all the work that's been done on that house. So that theory is out the door as far as it all had to do with the house.
I have a question for Captain too. Just wanted to see, are you asking for assistance from other agencies? I know yesterday you all mentioned 19 agencies helping out with the quick turnover in personnel. It sounds like that are searching. Are you all looking for other agencies in surrounding counties to help? And what is the hours that you all are searching?
Yes, so hours of operation this time are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We have, like Leslie stated yesterday, we have utilized at this time 19 different agencies throughout the state of Tennessee. We also have multiple agencies outside of our jurisdiction in burning states, and also expanding to Middle Tennessee to having these teams on standby.
You talked about getting tips. Can you give me an idea of the magnitude of tips that you've gotten so far? And with the amount of time that's passed, is there concern, that it's less likely to find the longer it goes?
Of course, the longer this goes, the more concerned we get. At this stage, we've received nearly 50 leads. None have panned out so far.
Okay, there would not be 50 leads if she wandered off. Those 50 leads would be like, I saw her. I was out fishing or I was out, hiking around, trying to figure out where to put a deer stand or something. And I think I saw her. Those 50 leads, just my opinion, were all about Dawn and Candace's behavior. Now remember, anyone that has talked about how they treat their children, how they treat their animals, so on and so forth, are not credible. Not to certain people. These people are not credible. I don't need to name the names. I don't need to name the names. You know who they are. They're not credible. 50 leads. This was like a day or two in. She didn't say tip. She said leads. Big difference with the way law enforcement speaks. A tip is one thing, but a lead is different. Now, I don't think old Leslie here misspoke. She's very trained and she knows how to talk. She knows what to say. 50 leads. Forget the wandering off.
50? Yes, approximately 50 at this point.
Who does Summer live with, and is there any history with this family with law enforcement or anything that you're aware of?
Sure.
Summer lived with her parents and 3 siblings.
Are these her biological parents?
Now, this statement from Ronnie, and I'm going to go back, okay? They've already said 50 leads. There is so much in the beginning of this case, it's hard to process. And I'm not giving up on Summer Wells. Anybody wants to say I'm milking it, I'm exploiting it, whatever, enjoy. Grab a ticket, pick a ticket, whatever, get in line. Not giving up on Summer Wells. Listen to his verbiage. Summer lived, past tense, with her biological parents and 3 siblings. Lived. Not Summer lives with her parents and 3 siblings. Summer lived. Now, in all of their years of investigating, they already knew that they are not going to come across an alive and well Summer Wells. Listen to him again. This is not a slip, my friends.
With this family with law enforcement or anything that you're aware of?
Sure.
Summer lived with her parents and 3 siblings.
Are these her biological parents, mother and father?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any history of your office?
1 second. Sorry.
Is there any history of your office going to their home or anyone in the home? Is there any criminal history with family members?
The father has a criminal history.
Can you elaborate on that?
I don't have it with me.
Is any of the family persons of interest?
Everybody's a person of interest till we find Summer. The most important thing is find Summer. That's what it's all about. That's why we're doing the ground searches, the aerial searches, and finding her is first and foremost.
Are you concerned that this could be an abduction at this point after so much time has passed?
Everything's on the table. I mean, we're looking at everything, crossing every T, dotting every I, and turning every stone. That's why we have 2 different operations. Captain's operation is search and rescue. Law enforcement operation is look into this incident and find Summer.
Is the father's criminal record?
Okay, again, law enforcement verbiage. I'm not a fan of Ronnie Lawson. So please don't think I'm sitting here going, way to go, Ronnie. You're so right, Ronnie. And I'm certainly not going to chalk up what he says or what Leslie says as they're just dumb and they didn't mean to say it that way. Leslie said 50 leads. Okay. That's a lot of people talking shit about that family. Ronnie Lawson said lived with her biological parents and 3 siblings. Here, he uses the word incident. This incident. Explain incident to me. Because 3+ years later, this incident is still boggling everyone's mind.
Summer lived with her parents and 3 siblings.
Are these her biological parents, mother and father?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any history of your office?
1 second. Sorry.
Is there any history of your office going to their home or anyone in the home? Is there any criminal history with family members?
The father has a criminal history.
Can you elaborate on that?
I don't have it with me.
Is any of the family persons of interest?
Everybody's a person of interest till we find Summer. The most important thing is find Summer. That's what it's all about. That's why we're doing the ground searches, the aerial searches, and finding her is first and foremost.
Are you concerned that this could be an abduction at this point after so much time has passed?
Everything's on the table. I mean, we're looking at everything, crossing every T, dotting every I, and turning every stone. That's why we have 2 different operations. Captain's operation is search and rescue. Law enforcement operation is look into this incident and find Summer.
Is the father's criminal record relevant in this investigation?
No, sir.
I've also heard there's been speculation of the siblings in the household. Just wasn't sure if you're able to elaborate on the siblings at all.
They have 3 others besides Summer.
Older, younger,
Older.
sisters?
Older.
One more question, guys. Anybody have another question? Okay.
I had a question. We've heard about issues with communications between search teams regarding lack of cell coverage as well as the radios. Can you elaborate on that? What those issues have been and how they've impacted the search?
Well, Captain, he can relate to that as far as law enforcement. We can't hardly communicate at all on our radios, and cell phones are out of the question, but thanks to AT&T and Verizon, he can tell you about that. They've been a big help to us. Go ahead.
Elaborate on that real quick. AT&T and Verizon both have bought cell phone service boosters to our command post to help try to utilize cell phone coverage, which is still very spotty for most of the area. Radio communication between ground crews and also aerial aviation has been very difficult due to the state that our radio system's in at this time. For ground crew operations, we're having to utilize anywhere from 4 to 6 different radio channels to make sure we have the coverage where everybody's accounted for.
This is a great point from Fun to Ski. Your children can be dirty, but if they were malnutrition, I think they would have more reason to take the children, in my opinion. Let's talk about Summer. We've seen many pictures of her, and we see a decline in her health from 2020 into 2021. Okay? The shaved head is one thing, but she looks frail. If she ran away from home, if she wandered off, how far would she make it? How far would she make it? I say the same thing about Sebastian. I'm not saying he's frail or anything. We're not talking about mountain men here. We're not talking about Bear Grylls. We're not talking about that. She appears to be very frail. How long could she be out in the elements? And how could she not be found with that extensive search? And I know people say, well, it's really hard, bones and all that. Here's the thing. They wouldn't be looking for bones 2-3 days in. They wouldn't be looking for bones 3 days in. How far could a little 5-year-old girl who's very frail get? Hang on, we've got our friend Gaelic backstage. Gaelic, hit me. Uh-oh. Well, we had Gaelic.
Real quick, when you said that the search area you covered was about a mile, did you mean a square mile or a radius around the residence?
That is going to be a radius from around the residence from the last point of her household.
Thanks everybody for being here. Just to clarify, ground search efforts end around 8 o'clock. However, if we do receive any phone calls giving us a credible lead, we do follow up on those leads throughout the night. Thanks for being here. Any updates will be posted on our Twitter feed, and we'll update you again as soon as we have something available. Thank you.
Doxy Mom, I thought Don called CPS himself and told him to come get the boys for safety. Now, that's a crazy story. That's one that goes in the books that Don has said. Why would he do that if Candace loves her children so much? Why would Grandis allow that? Nobody was bothering them. They live way up on a hill. Way up on a hill. If the boys aren't safe, then Don and Candace aren't safe, and Grandis isn't safe. What a lie. CPS is not a babysitter. Wouldn't it be great if it worked that way? Hey, we have dinner tonight, CPS, come over and watch the kids for a couple hours. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. And they're not just going to go do it. No, they had reason, probable cause to come get her. All right, we're going to go through this, and we have more to explore this month on Dawn. We do. Because a lot of it is extremely gut-wrenching. You know, the panty sniffing and all the nastiness aside, Summer is still missing. And we have 3 adults. Hang on, there's Gaelic. Well, hello, Gaelic.
Hey there.
I am happy you grabbed the link. Haven't had you up here in a long time. What are your thoughts?
I've tried, but I cannot find one thing to put Don is a good parent in my mind. Nothing. Zilch.
No. Dina Lynn said, Tim Mullins told me nobody can climb that hill because it's dangerous and you will fall. We saw Dawn and a news anchor trying to get down the hill, and they were having to grab onto trees and everything to get through the steepness. We saw Benny trying to go down the driveway. Now, mind you, he slipped in dog shit, but he was already having an issue walking down that driveway. Go ahead, Gaelic.
It's steep, yeah. It's treacherous terrain, but there are trained experts that can do it. I'm very, very frustrated to have heard that Hawkins County did not even reply to EchoSearch when they offered to call back out lately. I mean,
I think it's safe to say she's not on that property. And I know some people will say, of course she's got to be on the property. They searched that. And remember, they searched it that night. They wouldn't let anybody else do it. Law enforcement was there. And by midnight, they knew they had a bigger problem on their hands, and that's when they got the Amber Alerts.
Well, to be honest, from what I had heard Dave Radar suggest was they wanted to widen the search, that they themselves had possibly studied the terrain, studied the area, and had points of interest they wanted to search. But unfortunately,
they did, and they came up with nothing.
No, this is, I mean, in their recent request.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was confused. I apologize.
I know they have done several and done amazing work, but while they were in the area for Sebastian, They did offer to come to Hawkins County and received no reply. And Dave Radar did say him and Twyla, and I presume the team, had areas of interest that they themselves, at each time they visited, were not allowed to search, but they felt were points of interest. And then you get radio silence from Ronnie, who promised an update, was that 12 months ago almost now? It's all very disappointing.
Well, that update, Pat Kay called it. That update was the age progression photo. That was the update.
That's not an update, that's a release. The
Yep,
update that people want is Ronnie Lawson and Pruitt, if they've, 5-10 minutes of their time to appear in public and make an actual statement to let people know this beautiful child isn't forgotten about, and people are actively and thoroughly and going over and over and over everything from scratch if need be. It's 3 years. And beyond belief, there are 3 boys not just in custody, they're in protective custody.
Now, I don't know where that came from. I don't know. I mean, they are with, a foster family for sure.
In the beginning, when they were taken, it was slipped out that because of, and Don's words yet again.
Don's words, yeah.
The dangerous situation of Summer's disappearance, the boys needed to go into protective custody with DCF. Now, of course, those 3 beautiful boys are, by all appearances, thriving and happy and in good homes, and please God, may they keep doing so, because someday the horror of what has happened, their sister will come to visit them, and they have to deal with that.
And Patty Burris has a question. She says, how were they not charged for neglect? That is the $1 million question. Some people say that they basically just signed their rights over so that they wouldn't be charged. Even if they went to charge them now, in Tennessee, the statute of limitations is 2 years for what they would be charged for. And that's way past. Let's look at this. Who is Donald Wells, Part 1? 3 statements. This is from our good friend Criminal. I love how she puts things together. And of course, I will have to interrupt so Gaelic and I can give commentary.
Parents Don Wells and Candace Bly are not cooperating.
I always knew that something was going to happen to something.
Okay, already 7 seconds in. They're not cooperating. There's Dawn. I always knew something would happen to her. Then,
yeah,
how could you have that premonition that something was going to happen to your daughter? Not your boys, not your dogs, not
any parent in the chat ever wake up and have a premonition at any stage that, God forbid, something awful is going to happen to their child today? I'm just wondering, because I don't wake up and think that way. I never do, never would. So immediately it makes no sense, and it makes no sense. I have issues with it.
That was one of the most jarring things he's ever said. He always knew something was going to happen to her.
The child's parents, Don Wells and Candace Bly, are not cooperating.
I always knew that something was going to happen to someone.
We had such a great love for each other.
I think she knew something too.
Not cooperating.
I have 7 alibis.
Finder, Anna.
Candace ain't got none. She's going down.
Now, this was also, I don't know, I can't exactly alphabetize how many things have been said over the last 3+ years that have jarred me to my core. But she has 7, I have 7 alibis. Candace has none. She's going down.
Well, I put Starlink, probably known Don, depending on his day and if he's still religious, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. So there's 4. I'm going to guess Timmy, because I'm not buying that, him and Timmy never met until he saw the mother at a parade. Nope, not buying that story either. So I'm kind of stumped for the other ones. I guess Don knows.
I think Don knows a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He knew something was going to happen to Summer. I'm going to guess on June 14th, when a lady he'd never seen before came to the house and kept looking at the upper eaves of the house. Same spots cameras might be.
Because that
premonition on the 14th. But to say Candace is going down.
So he thinks that lady, God forbid anyone would try to get into Don's mind, is trying to figure out where Don might put cameras. I reckon she was wondering, is this roof actually going to cave in while I'm standing here? Just my opinion. Or she was trying to figure out what in the holy hell have these kids been living in?
That's what I want to know. At this point, the only doctor that can get into his mind is Dr. Hannibal Lecter. Is he still around?
Not sure, but I'm sure there's some like him. Somebody must know. That might be able to make sense of whatever's in there. Oh gosh.
But she was sexually active at a very young age. And I wasn't going around asking for her driver's license or whatever.
Okay. I'm going to put a trigger warning up because you're going to hear some very disturbing things. And I don't want the whole chat to be full of trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning, because YouTube thinks we're doing something real bad in here. And I've had enough problems lately. But this is really, really important. What he says to Josh on the lab, again, this is from Criminal. She clipped it from over there about Jeannie. It is horrible.
But she was sexually active at a very young age. And I wasn't going around asking for her driver's license or whatever.
He said she was sexually active at a young age, and I wasn't going to ask for her driver's license. She was 5.
Yeah. Don't know many 5-year-olds with driver's licenses, to be honest.
Or that are sexually active.
Nope.
What a ridiculous thing to say.
Disgusting.
Whatever. She wanted to touch me at first.
She wanted to touch me. Okay, let's just pretend that at the age of 5, Jeannie was curious about boys. That's when you say, no, 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 no. But we know he took advantage of whatever situation any situation that's ever been put in front of him.
And what's the age difference when you're 5, if you remember?
He'd be 12, about 12, I think, 12, 13.
There.
Okay.
I was a 12-year-old boy. I didn't know any better. I'm sorry that I did not know any better.
Does anyone in here think that at 12 years old, Don didn't know the difference between 12 and 5? Wouldn't he want to be playing kissy face with another 12-year-old?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't he be looking at the older girls in school, salivating over the teacher? He didn't know any better. Who at 12 years old didn't know?
Plus, at that age, 12, 13, you're hanging out with an older group. You really don't want to associate with your 5-year-old sister because you're in with the kids at school, the girls at school, and, normal teens, just that's how they behave.
Nobody at 12 wants to hang around a 5-year-old. You're like, no, I don't want to watch them. I have a sibling 5 years younger than me. And I'm like, get away from me. Get away from me.
I have one 18 years younger than me in that one. But genuinely with boys, particularly at that age, they're with their friends, their own peer group, not 5-year-old kids.
A Laugh-A-Day One said, I'm in no way condoning DW's actions. He's a pig. I just wonder if things were done to him at a very early age and he thought this was normal, generational. I agree with you 100%. If it was up to me, his dad and his stepmom would have been put in jail when all this was going down when he was 12 and stop it. But instead, Summer Wells had to stop it.
Unfortunately.
So you were 5.
Yeah, 5.
Whatever, which I know was bad and I know it was wrong and I should have known better, but that little girl was reacting, but it's not exactly all my damn fault.
The only thing I learned anything from was looking at
At 5 years old, he's like, it wasn't all my damn fault. 5 years old. Now I'm gonna safely say, for YouTube standards, that he had witnessed some things in his life, or maybe he's just the only one that's an asshole. I don't know, because we don't hear about anyone else in the family except for him and his son that have crossed a line like this.
Point I would feel is, firstly, parents failed abysmally. Abysmally. If their little girl, this was happening and they either ignored it or knew of it and refused to do anything. But as things progressed, from sadly what those girls have had to come forward and say, this seemed to be repetitive behavior from Don. Repetitively. And not just on that one child. His sister did try to file a complaint and was made to retract it.
Don't pick on Donnie. Good morning, Cat's Life. How are you, beautiful?
damn dirty magazines. and that portrayed a pretty bad so,
Oh, he's doing the dirty magazine defense like Ted Bundy. I looked at those dirty magazines. Guess what, Boudreaux? Guess what, Bubba? There's no 5-year-olds in your dirty magazines.
Sorry,
They're airbrushed grown women.
sorry. I would imagine every young guy at some point in their lives have watched or looked at those so-called dirty magazines and didn't hurt children.
Mm-hmm. And I love how Criminal put this together. If our amazing moderators can put her link in here, she's got a lot of great information. You have a lot of background noise, Gaelic. Is everything okay?
It's just probably the absolutely torrential rain as usual here. Sorry.
Y'all need to be a friend and send me some of that rain. I'm telling you what, old DT Driver is going to kill me when he sees the water bill.
We don't have.
If you're going by that kind of stuff, let's be sure you're screwed up.
So we kind of had a relationship when we were younger. Yeah, I was a bit older.
When I was about 6, well, it was more 6 to 7 is when he started the more aggressive.
She started this shit. She done.
5, 6, 7-year-old doesn't start this shit. Live and shit. No. And she said, imagine her memories. Imagine her PTSD. Imagine for her to say, he started becoming more aggressive.
The word that sticks out most horrifically to me is, as a grown man, he refers to that as a relationship.
Relationship. Now, you have a relationship with your stepsister. You sure do. But not that kind.
Exactly.
No.
That's the horrible sense of that word. He wasn't regarding it as a relationship with his stepsister. Not my opinion, anyway.
And a laugh today, so glad you're here. She said, in my opinion, whatever happened to him as a young child totally screwed him up. The disgusting behavior, in my opinion, was imprinted into his brain such that he could never be rehabilitated. This is such an important comment. Let me tell you why. Because he has a 5-year-old daughter that went missing. CPS was involved. And unless other people are lying about their conversations and their text messages from Dawn and Candace, do you think Dawn can be rehabilitated? He had a very, I'm just going to say, violent story about how he went after Mary. This continued until he was 19. Can you rehabilitate someone that takes advantage of other people? I'm just going to put it that way. What's your opinion, Gaylord?
Oh my gosh, Dawn being rehabilitated, I don't ever see. Ever. I do find that his sisters came forward at 5, the very same age it happened to her, possibly the start of her PTSD, possibly brought up things that were buried for many, many years because she had to. That is the 5, both being 5, and the fact they didn't even know Summer existed until then.
But they did the right thing and they told TBI and they decided to revisit these horrific memories.
I would assume that would bring all those horrific memories right back up when you'd hear that.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And that's why so many states have adopted a law. Tennessee is one where you cannot be rehabilitated. You get the DP.
Yeah.
It's coming towards the state Congress now in Oklahoma. It's coming towards the state Congress in Texas. It's been passed in Tennessee. It's been passed in Florida. You can't be rehabilitated. So guess what? DP.
Coming into my room.
And he's 13 at this point.
Yeah, 13, 14 by then.
And don't think I didn't ever wake up in my bed or in my bed trying to get down my pants before. Don't think that hasn't ever happened.
Anyway.
He is out of his mind saying that she would come into his room and try to get, with him. There's Chris McDonough with these hands up going, stop, stop, stop.
Uh-huh. It beggars belief that he's trying to project his ill onto a young girl.
Mm-hmm.
Onto a 5-year-old, a 12-year-old, which I assume by that time he was a lot older, and yet it was still continuing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He said he didn't know better at 12. What about 13? What about 14? What about 17? What about 19? At what part in his life, in his hardwired brain, did he not realize that what he was doing to his stepsisters was wrong?
It was every night, practically.
How old were you? I don't know. Maybe 15. I don't know. And how old was she? I don't know. She was a lot younger than me. And how long did that go on? I don't know. For a little while or whatever.
I know I've done wrong. Yeah, I did wrong. Yes, I admit that.
Right.
But there was times where Jeannie played along too.
I do apologize to her, but she's not accepting an apology.
I'm very sorry.
But this is your apology?
No, there's not no apology. I'm telling you, I'm the victim. I'm sorry that I did not know any better.
Why would I didn't think it was right.
When I was about 10 or 11,
okay,
he went to prison for close to 2 years. I woke up to him doing stuff to me, and I wasn't going to have it anymore. I'd had these 2 years of freedom from him. So I went right into my parents' room, flipped on their...
Okay, I hate to do this. I have to pause her for a second. He goes to prison for 2 years, okay? Jeannie has had some peace in her life. Her mother and stepfather are aware of what Dawn had been doing with her, and they did nothing about it. He goes to prison, and they let him back around. Are we seeing a generational problem?
Huge. Absolutely huge.
Your kid goes to jail for stealing bubble gum. Yeah, let him back around. They go to jail for any sort of violence. You don't let them around other people in your home. You don't do it.
Nope. I'm sorry. As a parent myself, yes, there may be certain things I would stand by, but there comes a point in time, especially he's 19, heading 20 at this stage. I'm like, no, you're a grown-ass man. You're on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no place here for you. I mean,
Shay
some point.
said because his dad covered it up and their mom agreed to cover it up too. This is the beginning of Don doing whatever he wants. You see, no accountability when they're 12 leads to no accountability when they're an old ass man like Don. Sorry, but that's the truth.
It is.
Their light, and I just said it right out. And my mom was really mad, and he wanted to press charges. And my dad he really downplayed it. He didn't think it was a big deal. And so my dad told her, if you press charges, then we're getting a divorce.
If you press charges, we're getting a divorce. So everybody covered up what happened.
Just brush it under the rug.
It's just like what happened.
Lala said broken system. Can we agree on this? That the first system that always breaks is the family.
Sadly so. Or if one parent isn't strong enough to see the signs and walk away. There is that option.
And you cannot tell me that Candace did not turn her head to abuse. You can't tell me Don didn't turn his head to abuse. Summer stopped the cycle. Go ahead, Gaelic. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Candace couldn't turn her head to abuse because the only conclusion I can come to is one is as predatory as the other.
Mm-hmm. And with all of these statements and everything, we still have people defending Don. I'm not talking about Candace today. We still have people defending Don.
With him and me and his two friends.
You know, that me and my buddies was chasing her around. We was all playing, and she fell down. I helped pick her up, and I accidentally ripped her shirt a little bit when I was helping to pick her up. You know,
You're not going to rip anybody's shirt to pick them up unless you pick them up by the shirt.
Exactly.
No.
You
generally
generally
ripped her shirt. If you're picking someone up off the ground, then you grab them by the hand and you help them up. You don't accidentally rip someone's shirt.
Nor do you allow your friends or class it as messing around with your sister.
No. His excuse was because she had big old knockers and black guys kept looking at her. What a stupid, stupid thing to say.
trying to help her get off the floor because she fell down, and that's as far as it went. You know. And I told them guys, hey, man, enough. She's down on the floor. She's thinking we're serious, trying to do something to her when we wasn't, you know.
Yeah, they meant to probably rape you or something.
Well,
but I saved your ass. But so you go ahead and tell them. Yeah, I was there. I remember. So, you're going to turn it into a bad thing because I saved you? I thought it was kind of like a game or whatever.
And I ripped her shirt a little bit when I was helping to pick her up.
I think my dad always felt like maybe an obligation to me. I don't know. Donnie has a way of making people feel sorry for him.
I'm the victim to my stepsister. I'm the victim.
Right. I'm the victim. Mary says it perfectly.
Exactly.
She says he has a way of making people feel sorry for him. Look at some of these comments that we see from people when they defend him. And they'll be like, well, that wasn't right. But, just remember he's grown up since then. Well, Mary and Jeannie have to live, and other people, with the memories of what was done to them.
They're just, I hate to say this, but I imagine the ones that were brave enough to come forward. Who knows how many more like them are out there that haven't come forward. They came forward, they're victims.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's horrible to say, but they received more hate than he did.
Broken Goth Doll said, if you defend a self-confessed SO, you are part of the problem. Damn right, Broken Goth Doll. Teresa said, those people shouldn't be around children if they defend the Wells. Damn right, Teresa. How can you defend this?
There is none.
How can you defend all of these children that have been taken from them? I don't care about their drug history. I don't care about who drinks. I don't care about that. I'm talking about the horrible treatment of children. I'm not even talking about the animals yet. Horrible treatment. Confirmed.
If a father, an actual father, can stand up and say, my daughter was raped, oh, but she didn't make a big issue about it. That's not a father.
He said he was proud of her because she sucked it up and didn't cause no problems for no one.
Right, I'm sure.
Yeah, at least I admitted to my part.
Good job.
But
Congratulations.
They don't want to admit to their part. I was a little kid, and so were they.
My dad was very upset that I went in and pressed charges against him for doing that to me. And then made my mom take me back to the police station 2 days later and drop everything.
No, there is no victim statement from her. I have a victim statement from Mary, and I have a victim statement from Jeannie. No others. There were two. You don't know.
I do, though. And I know that there's a third victim statement.
There are no other victims. You're lying.
No, you're lying, Don. You are.
What about the third one? Put that in context. The third one really didn't say nothing. Well, she said something really, because they talked to you about her. That's why I don't want to mention her name. Let's talk about Rhonda. I don't know no Rhonda. Where the you get her name like that? Well, she's on your victim list. No, she's not. You want to bet? There is no Rhonda in my victims list. That's a lie.
I did hear the chat the other day from Don, and I just wanted to let him know I'm alive and well, and I am number 3 that did sign the complaint. I am the one that sent in the papers, and him saying he doesn't remember is extremely hurtful. That something that he did is that unimportant.
Of course he knows who she is.
Oh, he knew.
Of course he knows who she is.
That was
and
just so.
And he knows others. It was dug up about his panty sniffing thing.
Exactly.
I think it was. I love when Prayer Garden said, "Why doesn't he go sniff Miss Daisy's?" She's part of the problem, and these people want to end misinformation. They need to look at the big picture. I get not running with rumors. I get running with rumors, but the rumors have come from Wells Manor.
The birds of a feather flock together.
It's that unimportant to him that he can't even remember it.
That was it. There was 3 statements. The police called me when I was in jail from Utah. I laughed at them. Then I started yelling at them. After they read me all 3 statements. I had two signed statements against me. That was it. There weren't 7, there weren't 10, there weren't whatever.
Was there 3
there
or
was
not?
2.
All three of them. Yes, sir.
Actually, his birthday is a month from mine, Rhonda. His birthday is 11/14 of 64. So yeah, you guys are 7 years apart, 6.5, 7 years apart, something like that.
So he was over the age of 18 then.
Yeah, he was 19. Yep.
And you guys were 12.
Yes, Jeannie and I were 12 at the time.
And there was a third one that didn't really say anything. What was the third? I'm not going to miss.
And you were spending the night over there.
I did. Jeannie and I are cousins, and I spent the night over there, and that's when Donnie came in.
And he victimized you as well as probably others that we just don't know about.
Oh, the way it was such not a big deal to him. I'm sure it was anybody that he could get his hands on.
Wow.
Disturbing. It's a lot to hit people with on a Monday morning. I mean, we're all just getting back to work, back to what we have going on throughout the week. It's a lot to go through, but they can't get away with what they've done. Neglect, endangerment, whatever it is. I'm not saying they had anything to do with Summer's disappearance, but they were there.
But yes, 3 years on, nobody has been cleared. And that includes Don.
That includes you, Don, and I know you listen. Well, Gaelic, I want to say thank you so much for you grabbing the link and coming up. You want to do a Discord live today?
Hopefully in a bit, yes. No problem.
We will hop over there. We'll do a Discord live and hobnob about how the weekend was. You guys are the absolute best for many, many reasons. For one, you're always here for the right reason. You're not here for drama. You're not here for bullshit. You're not here for any of that. But you haven't forgotten about Summer.
That's never going to happen. There's not one child, one case we started with that we haven't, no matter how long it's taken, seen through the trial if we can get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
So Summer will never be forgotten. Some people seem to want her to go away. They don't want Summer talked about. But if she's not talked about, it does go away.
It can't go away.
No.
She can't go away. I understand she's not the only child that's missing. And I've got so many hours in my day. I try to cover everything that people send to me. Thank you, nerdy girl. Me love you long time. Well, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you to the fabulous Mod Squad. I think we've gotten all those nuts and screws tightened around here. And I just want to say again, thank you for being here for Summer Wells. If you don't mind, please hit the thumbs up. And I will see you back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. unless I see you over in Discord or one of the Facebook groups. Love you, Gaelic.
Love you too. And thank you, everyone. As always, we get the best people in here, and they're here for the right reason. They're here for Summer.
And don't forget today's secret word, everyone.
What's today's secret word?
Ooh, interesting question. Let's go and ask Cocky.
Live and shit. All right, we're not live anymore. See you in a little bit in Discord or, like I said, one of the Facebook groups. And if I miss you there, I'll see you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Don't forget.
Thanks, everyone.